Have you ever found yourself canceling plans with family because deep down you knew you needed something else more? Or maybe you felt that twinge of guilt when you prioritized your own needs over a family obligation? If so, you're not alone. As we cross that 60-year threshold, something fascinating happens. Our priorities naturally begin to shift, and it's actually perfectly healthy. Today, I'm going to share the 6 things that become even more important than family once you turn 60. And let me tell you, number 6 is something most people never realize until it's too late. But once you understand it, it can completely transform your relationships, even with your family. Now, I know what you might be thinking. More important than family? That sounds selfish. But here's the truth. Prioritizing these 6 things will actually help you show up as your best self when you are with your loved ones. So let's dive right in. Item 1, your physical health. Let's be honest, how many times have you pushed yourself to exhaustion for a family gathering? Or skipped your daily walk to babysit the grandkids? Or postponed a doctor's appointment because someone in the family needed something? After 60, your physical health isn't just another item on your to-do list. It becomes the foundation that everything else depends on. Without it, you simply won't be able to enjoy those family moments you've been sacrificing for. Here's what many people don't understand. Prioritizing your physical health isn't selfish. It's actually the most generous thing you can do for your loved ones, because they don't just want your time. They want you present, energetic, and well. One of my viewers, Margaret, shared how she finally started saying no to late night family events that disrupted her sleep schedule. At first, her children were surprised. But when they saw how much more engaged and energetic she was during daytime visits, they actually started scheduling family gatherings earlier, specifically to accommodate her needs. So what can you do, practically speaking? First, schedule your health appointments before any family commitments go on your calendar. Second, be transparent about your physical limitations. No more pushing through pain just to avoid disappointing others. And third, remember that your exercise routine and healthy meals are non-negotiable appointments with yourself. If you're finding these insights helpful, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Our community of wise 60-plus viewers is growing every day, and we share practical strategies like these that honor both your needs and your family connections. Now, let's talk about the second priority that sometimes needs to come before family. Item 2, your financial security. You know that uncomfortable feeling when a family member asks for financial help, and you want to say yes, but deep down you know it might jeopardize your own stability. That conflict is real, and it's one that becomes increasingly important to resolve after 60. Here's the reality. Your earning years are largely behind you. What you've saved and how you manage it now will determine the quality of your life for potentially decades to come. And that means sometimes you need to make the difficult choice to prioritize your financial security over family requests. I remember talking with Robert, who at 67 was still helping his adult children with their mortgage payments, despite the fact that his own retirement accounts were being depleted faster than planned. When I asked him what would happen if he needed long-term care in the future, the look of realization on his face said it all. By trying to help his family in the short term, he was potentially setting himself up to become a much bigger financial burden on them later. So how do you navigate this delicate balance? First, know your numbers, exactly what you have and what you need for your future security. Second, set clear boundaries around financial gifts versus loans, and stick to them. And third, remember that finding other ways to help family, like offering your time, skills, or guidance instead of money, can often be more valuable in the long run. The truth is, maintaining your financial independence is one of the greatest gifts you can give your family. It's not just about your security. It's about their peace of mind, too. And here's something I'm really curious about. Have you ever had to say no to a family financial request in order to protect your own security? What was that experience like? Share your story in the comments below. Your wisdom might help someone else facing the same difficult decision right now. Now let's move on to something that might surprise you. Item 3, your social connections outside the family. Think about this for a moment. Who do you call when you need to process a difficult decision? Who understands exactly what you're going through with age-related changes? Who makes you laugh until your sides hurt with shared memories from decades ago? If your answer to these questions isn't always family, that's not just normal, it's necessary. After 60, your friendships and social connections outside the family become increasingly vital to your well-being. Research shows that people with diverse social circles, not just family, live longer, experience less cognitive decline, and report higher levels of happiness. Yet how often do we cancel plans with friends because family comes first? The challenge is that family relationships come with established roles that can be limiting. With your friends, you're not mom or grandpa, you're just you. With all your complexity and wisdom, those friendships allow you to express parts of yourself that family dynamics might not accommodate. I think of my friend Eleanor, who devoted her entire life to her family, rarely maintaining friendships outside that circle. When her husband passed and her children moved across the country, she found herself not just grieving, but profoundly lonely. She had to build a social network from scratch at 72. Something that would have been much easier to maintain all along. So what can you do? First, schedule regular friend time that's as sacred as family commitments. Second, nurture relationships with people in different age groups, not just peers. And third, be willing to initiate gatherings rather than waiting for invitations. I'd love to hear from you. What friendship has become increasingly important to you after 60? Share your story in the comments below. Let's move on to our fourth priority. Item 4, your mental stimulation and growth. Have you noticed how easy it is to fall into comfortable patterns of thinking? As you get older, maybe you find yourself having the same conversations, watching the same shows, or thinking about the same problems day after day. After 60, keeping your mind active, challenged, and growing isn't just a luxury, it's essential for maintaining cognitive health and finding fulfillment. Yet how often do we put our own learning and mental stimulation on the back burner to accommodate family needs? The cognitive benefits of continued learning are well documented, from building new neural pathways that help prevent dementia to increasing your sense of purpose and accomplishment. But there's something even more powerful that happens. When you prioritize your own growth, you bring a richer, more interesting version of yourself to your family relationships. Think about it. Wouldn't you rather your grandchildren remember you as the grandparent who was always learning something fascinating and sharing it with them, rather than the one whose world revolved solely around family matters? Here's what works. First, schedule dedicated learning time each week, whether it's for reading, online courses, or hands-on skills development. Second, join communities centered around learning, book clubs, art classes, or discussion groups. And third, share your learning journey with your family without making their participation mandatory. One of my favorite examples is Richard, who at 65 decided to learn Italian despite his family teasing him about it. 3 years later, he took his entire family to Italy and became their unofficial translator. His grandchildren now see him as proof that you're never too old to master something new. If you're enjoying these insights, please hit that subscribe button. Our community is all about supporting each other in living our best lives after 60, with practical strategies you can implement right away. Now let's talk about our fifth essential priority. Item 5, your personal space and environment. Remember when you were younger and dreamed about how you'd arrange your home once the kids were grown? How you'd finally have that reading nook or workshop or garden? Yet how many of us still haven't created those spaces? Because we're accommodating family needs? After 60, your home environment and personal space become critically important to your well-being. The surroundings you create for yourself directly impact your mood, energy levels, and sense of control in your life. Sometimes, that means prioritizing your environmental needs over family expectations. This might mean downsizing against family pressure to keep the family home, setting boundaries around who can stay with you and for how long, or simply creating sacred spaces within your home that are just for you. I think of Maria, who transformed her guest room into an art studio despite her children's complaints about having nowhere to stay when they visited. The joy and fulfillment she found in having a dedicated creative space ultimately improved her relationships with her kids because she was happier and more fulfilled when they did visit, even if they stayed in a hotel. What can you do? Start by identifying one space in your home that could be truly yours and make the changes needed to claim it. Set clear boundaries about when and how family members use your space, and consider whether your current living situation truly serves your needs at this stage of life, or if you're holding on to it primarily for others. Has anyone made a significant change to their living space that initially upset family members but ultimately improved